When the Kurukshetra war ended, the victorious Pandavas inherited a kingdom soaked in the blood of their own relatives. They carried the weight of Gotra Hatya and Brahma Hatya, the unforgivable sins of killing their kin and their teachers. To purge this guilt, they tracked Lord Shiva into the high Himalayas, desperate for absolution. But Shiva, revolted by the carnage of the war, consistently refused to grant them an audience or recognize their presence. As the brothers pushed into the freezing peaks, Shiva fled further into the mountains. To vanish into the landscape, he transformed himself into a massive bull, hiding among the herds of cattle grazing in the Kedarnath valley. But the strongest brother, Bhima, saw through the disguise. He planted his feet across two mountains, forcing the cattle to pass beneath him. While the other animals bowed, one bull resisted. Recognizing the god, Bhima lunged and gripped its hump. To escape, the divine form plunged downward, sinking deep into the solid earth. Kedarnath was forged through this high-altitude hunt, a shrine born from the visceral desperation of a family seeking a forced redemption from a god who wanted nothing to do with them. This sinking event defines the deity worshipped at Kedarnath today. Inside the sanctum, pilgrims do not bow to a traditional cylindrical Shivalinga, but to a massive, uncarved triangular slab of rock, the physical representation of the bull's hump, frozen in stone. The force of that divine descent shattered the bull's form, scattering its remains across 5 different Himalayan peaks. These locations form the Panch Kedar, a sacred geography created by the literal breaking of a god. His arms appeared at Tungnath, his face at Rudnath, his stomach at Madhya Maheshwar, and his hair at Kalpeshwar. Yet for centuries, the geography held a missing piece. No one could definitively locate the bull's severed head. In 2009, the mystery was solved by tracing the anatomy across an international border. The head priest of Kedarnath officially identified Doleshwar Mahadev, a shrine near Kathmandu, Nepal, as the location where the bull's head finally came to rest. These scattered remains create a permanent spiritual web of faith that links 2 nations, anchored by the different parts of a single divine body. The physical temple at Kedarnath is an engineering anomaly. Built at 12,000 feet, the structure uses dry stack stone masonry, meaning it contains no cement or mortar. The massive stones are interlocked so precisely that the entire building absorbs tremors and weight as a single flexible unit. This interlocking design faced its greatest trial during the Little Ice Age. Between the 13th and 17th centuries, shifting glaciers advanced down the valley and swallowed the temple. For 400 years, the structure remained buried and crushed under millions of tons of ice, yet it emerged from the thaw perfectly intact. Long before modern travel, the 8th century philosopher Adi Shankaracharya ensured the shrine would stay connected to the rest in India. He established a mandate that the head priest, or Rawal, must be a Nambudiri Brahmin from Kerala, bridging a 2,000-kilometer cultural and geographical divide that continues to this day. While mandates provided the spiritual structure, the trek survives through the daily labor of local porters carrying pilgrims in wicker baskets, supported by an ancient network of donors and kings who have funded free food and shelter along the route for centuries. Kedarnath's preservation is the result of 2 forces, an architectural logic that withstood the weight of glaciers, and a human grid that united the subcontinent. During the winter, the valley falls into a deep, silent isolation. For 6 months, the temple is vacant of humans, guarded by the deity Bhairavnath and a single oil lamp left burning in the dark sanctum. That isolation was shattered on the morning of June 17, 2013. A catastrophic breach of the Chorabari Lake high above the shrine triggered a debris flow, a wall of water and boulders the size of houses that surged down the valley toward the town. In the deluge, a 1,000-ton boulder washed down and wedged itself firmly behind the temple walls. Known as the Beam Shila, it acted as a shield, splitting the floodwaters into streams that flowed around the temple. When the water receded, the town of Kedarpuri was gone, buried under mud and ruin. Amidst the total destruction of every modern structure in the valley, the ancient stone temple remained unscathed. While geologists label the boulder's arrival a statistical fluke, faith identifies it as the enforcement of a cosmic contract, a promise that this shrine will endure against any earthly force. Despite surviving ice ages and floods, the temple is ultimately bound by its own prophecy of disappearance. It is a structure that has proven its physical invincibility, only to be destined for a quiet, final dissolution. Modern geological surveys confirm that the glaciers surrounding the valley remain highly active. This scientific reality mirrors a warning recorded in the Shiva Purana regarding the two mountains flanking the shrine, Nar and Narayan. The prophecy states that as the era ends, these two towering peaks will slowly lean toward one another. Eventually, they will grind together, crushing the valley shut and burying the Kedarnath shrine under millions of tons of mountain. The ancient route will be sealed forever. Worship will then shift to a new location known as Bhavisha Kedar, leaving the current temple as a hidden subterranean relic. The lesson of Kedarnath is the truth of impermanence. Even the most indestructible anchors of the gods must eventually surrender to the cycle of time and the shifting of the earth.